I am excited that we have Chris here, who's going to share his thoughts on developing a character, like what you want to think about from the perspective of both a story artist, but also as an audience member. So Chris, take it away.
I like to keep a few like sort of tools in my back pocket when I'm trying to come up with a character or an idea and I feel like I run into trouble and things aren't quite working. So there's a few things that I like to think about to sort of break me out if I'm getting stuck. So one of the things that I like to think about is, and this is as far as getting an audience to fall in love with a character, is my character doing anything? And I know that sounds silly, but like a lot of times characters aren't actively trying to do anything. And that I think is, for me, I think that's the thing that makes an audience start to care about a character, is that they can see the character is trying to accomplish something and there are obstacles and they have to overcome the obstacles in getting to the thing that they want. So that's the first thing that I have. So here's the second little like sort of tool that I have if you run into a roadblock with writing your character. And that is that the characters exist in a story. You're telling a story and you can look at the character and say, is this the perfect character for my story? So I'm gonna doodle while I talk about this one. So say the character has to go on like a really dangerous journey, like across the world to the jungle, right? There's a character that you could make who would love to do that, right? He's like ready to go. Maybe he has like Indiana Jones, he has like a whip, or maybe like a cool like machete, and he's excited, right? So that character could go on an adventure and you're like, all right, he's gonna be fine, right? But when we're making stories, a lot of times we're thinking about the character changing across the arc of the story, right? The character has something in the story, changes the character and makes them into another person. So if we think about what your story is, if your story is to go to a dangerous place and do something, you want to think about a character who that would be a greater challenge for, right? So for this guy, I mean, like we could like take away his sword and like his hat, right? And then we just make him like a regular guy who doesn't want to go across the world, right? He doesn't have any special skills at all. Maybe he doesn't even know how to drive a car. Already, this is a bigger challenge for him, right? But like maybe like if we want someone who it's a really tough challenge for, maybe we make him like really old. So now this jungle journey is automatically getting harder. But we can push it even further, right? Let's say he has like a house and he doesn't even like to go out of his house. So here's a house, put a little window here, and like here he is. And then we can add more layers, right? We can say like this is the house. He loves this house because this is the house where like he and his wife lived together and she passed away and they had a happy life, and like all of the things from their happy time together is in this house. So like you guys can probably see where I'm going with this, right? Is like that character becomes Carl Fredricksen. If we're thinking about like someone has to travel to the jungle on a dangerous adventure, what is the character who would most not want to go on this adventure? And it's basically Carl. He's someone who never wants to leave his house, let alone go somewhere across the world. This is the third idea that I have with characters that I think about sometimes, which is to think about characters from the outside in, which is to present your character to the audience right away so the audience knows exactly who they are. The example is Woody from Toy Story. You meet Woody, right away you're like, oh, he's the leader. Everyone respects him. He's brave and he's a good guy. And right away you're like, okay, I know who that is. But then as the movie goes on, you realize that not only does he have all those good qualities, but he is also a little bit insecure and a little bit scared, and he's willing to lie to people, and he's willing to break the rules, and he's willing to do all of these things that make him a full person, just like all of us. And then we relate to him even more when we realize that he has all of these thoughts and feelings inside him, just like all of us. And I think that's actually a really powerful way to present characters, is to show them to the audience and say, you know exactly who this is. And then during the story, you flip it. And then the audience is like, oh, now I know who this character really is.